Hey guys, Rambo here, and I know it's been a while since you've seen me play Call of Duty, and I've lost interest in Call of Duty, but I decided to bring you guys a little treat, and I decided to play it, and plus I've kind of missed Call of Duty in a way, and plus, you know, I actually do like this game. Now, first of all, you guys can say all the stuff you want, you know, this game sucks, but personally, I actually really enjoy the game, and plus, I really love Kevin Spacey. So, I really love the campaign because he's such a great bad guy. But anyways, back to the thing. Guys, yesterday, if you guys know, I do live in Oklahoma. Oklahoma will and always will be my home. I mean, I'll travel places if I get older and when I get money to do that, but Oklahoma will always be my home. And I really do mean that. And one of the most famous people who ever was here, and who still is here, and who haven't, you know, gone to Hollywood or anything, that person would be Bob Berry Jr. And if you guys don't know who he is, and I bet a lot of you guys probably don't, and if you do, that's great. But he was a sports commentator, mostly for Oklahoma sports, and sometimes he would be on, you know, I think the Sports Center occasionally, he'd be on there. And if you're a big sports watcher, which I know I have some friends who are big sports watchers, so, I mean, Bob Berry Jr. he's a legend in the sports casting community. Recently, actually just yesterday, he died. And he was hit by a car, he was on a motorcycle, and the car smashed right into him. And it's a very disturbing death, personally, to me, and I don't want to go into details, but let me admit this right now. I was not a big fan of the guy. But then again, I do respect the guy. And, let me just point it out right now that, again, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the guy. Because, I mean, there's some sports I like, you know, hockey, there's soccer, there's, or football. Then there's American football, and then, you know, there's basketball occasionally. I freaking hate basketball, first of all, you know, just let me get that down. Not a fan, never get me into it, I'm not a convert, unless it's hockey, okay? But hockey, baseball, and football are my three favorites. I do like soccer. Or UK football, or European football. And, I'm just gonna call it European football. Let's just get it at that. But, really? Oh, man. I mean, again, let me just say this right now. Let me be personal for a minute. Guys, it's always disturbing when someone dies. From the way that Bob Berry Jr. did, and I know I've said this in a couple other tributes that I've done. And I'm actually going to start a new little series, and it's called Tributes to People Who I Enjoy. And I'm doing one tomorrow, actually, of George Carlin, because he's one of my favorite stand-up comedians of all time, and I freaking love him. And on July the 3rd, I'm going to do Jim Morrison from The Doors, because the anniversary of his death is coming up on July the 3rd, which is the day before July 4th. And, well, hopefully I can get it done, because I'll be at my, grandmother's place, or I'll do it early, and then I'll upload it before I go, so, I mean, I don't know. And, I mean, I know it's a cheat and all, so, I mean, it's, but, you know, come on, I can't help it, you know, you gotta go places for July 4th, it just can't be done. But, here's the thing. People, this isn't just about Bob Berry Jr. I'm just going to talk about this. This isn't a philosophical talk with Rambo or anything, but I wanted to ask, when is someone going to be ready to die? Because I know Bob Berry wasn't, or Paul Walker, or really, if you want to go into a little more deeper territory, Yodi Slaya, if you remember. I'm still saddened. I can't watch his YouTube channel because that just reminds me he's gone and he'll never make another video like that again. Now, when I made the Yodi Slaya video, I remember it. I was coming back from my church. I vlogged it on in my grandmother's car. I still remember the night it was disturbing. Like, I thought it was a hoax, like everyone else probably did. And no, it wasn't a hoax. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of him myself, but I was just saying what everyone else was saying. And I really am mad at myself for doing that now, looking back on that moment. I really pound myself all the time because I probably didn't even mean those words I said. And that is just disgusting to me. That is more mean than plain coldness, really. And it really is disgusting for me. And I mean, I really did not like myself after that. I mean, I think of it now and I'm just disturbed. I mean, I did mean it when it was the 1-year anniversary of his death. I finally did grab the meaning and I said, yes, I do mean this. You know, I mean that, you know, I do mean it now. But it's very sad that Bob Berry died the way he did. And it's sad that Yodi died the way he did. And I hate when people die, especially like that. And I've said this in the past. I mean, when is someone going to be ready to die? Because no one ever is ready to die. I was actually watching a Twilight Zone episode the other day, which is probably one of the greatest TV shows of all time, hands down. But, and it's about this woman, and she's so scared to die, and she doesn't want to see Mr. Death. She's so afraid to open up her door because she doesn't want to die. She doesn't want to open that door that will lead to her death. And Robert Redford plays a cop, aka Death, and Death does an experiment, he gets inside the house and, he gets shot, and he's like, please help me, it's Robert Redford, and I actually really enjoy his acting. But then again, I'm getting off subject. And this woman, she's so afraid to open the door, and he tells her, it's okay, just, and he ends up talking to her, and she ends up, this guy comes to her door, and he's just like, yeah, I'm taking the building down, and if you don't come along, I'm calling the cops on you. And then Death then says, and he puts his hand out to her, and he says, it's okay, It was a very touching episode. It really was, because I really love the ending, because it was very touching, It gives you a more peaceful look at death. It really does give you a more peaceful outlook on death, no one's ever prepared to die. Bob Berry, no exception. Paul Walker, no exception. Yodi Slaya, no exception. And man, when will you be ready to die? I fear it every single day. Now, I don't think about it as much because I talk to these people every day, but I know that they're eventually going to die. Like, there's some times where I'm actually scared that they're going to die. I really am. Like, if you guys, I'm often scared that some of my YouTube or real life friends, they might die, and I don't want to feel the pain of losing someone. Like, I lost my grandfather in 2013. That that did teach me a huge lesson. I don't want to get too personal on that situation because it's something that I don't think you guys would want to know, but when my grandfather died, I really resented him. He did a lot of bad things to my dad, and you can imagine what it is. And it's not what you guys may think it is, but it's something that he did some bad things. Now, it wasn't like weird bad, it was just it was bad. It wasn't good. I don't know if he ever asked my dad for forgiveness for doing that. I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, when I went to the funeral, they talked about how such a great guy he was. And that gave me a whole new perspective of everything. What I thought was, if I hated this guy for so long because of what he did, and these people are saying he did all of these great things, it's you feel so bad. You feel so saddened and so ashamed of yourself when you figure that out. What I learned from that situation is that don't hate people. And I'm not trying to get into that, but okay, but I mean, I get it. I don't hate people. But back to the death, but back to when are you going to be ready to die? It really does scare me that any of my friends, a day, maybe internet or real life, that they might die one day, and I don't even know. I'm unsuspecting, and it scares me to feel the pain of people going away. I've heard this saying, people are even selfish when people die because they miss what the people gave them. And really, I have a bunch of people who I know, and I love them very much. They're great people. And if they went away, that scares me. The prospect of that really does frighten me. And I don't want to feel the pain of that, them going away, and I don't want to feel the pain of being alone. Really, that's actually one of my biggest fears, being alone. Without anybody. I'm kind of getting a bit emotional thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to stop going a bit too deep. I'm going a bit too deep. But I really don't want to be alone, okay? I'm feeling the increase in my chest, so please. But I don't want to feel that. It's just, man, when are you going to be ready to die? When I'm going to die, which is going to be someday, and I'm hoping it's when I'm old and I've lived my life, I want people to remember me for being the person who I was. Now, you can call me whatever you want. You can think of me however you want. But I want to be remembered as the person who I was. I don't want to be remembered as something that someone made up for me. But I want to be remembered for being the person that I was. You can say, I'm thoughtful and all that, and, I don't know what, yeah, I guess you could call me that, but, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but, at least Bob Berry, I'll give him this. Bob Berry, he was remembered for being the person who he was. He really was remembered for being the person that he was, and he was amazing, I remember in November, Chris Hardwick, from Nerdist, and I'm a huge fan of Chris Hardwick. I freaking love Chris Hardwick. He's one of my favorite comedians, modern comedians, aside from Louis C.K. I'm a huge fan of stand-up, so please don't get me wrong or anything, but I love Chris Hardwick, and I remember when he talked about his dad. His dad died, and I remember that he said that you know, he had a really nice chat with him. And, like, not long before he died, and then when he did, you know, it really... I mean, it felt kind of satisfying to Chris Hart. And that's... I didn't think much of it at that time, but I never forgot the story. I never forgot that. And it really took you into the deep insight of his mind, you know. And I mean, I'll be sad when someone who I really enjoy dies, you know. Like Chris Hardwick, for example, or Louis C.K. Like, I'll give them a frickin' an hour-long ode video if I have to, because I have tons of respect for those guys. But Bob Barry, man, I give him respect so much because he was someone who was respected, and I like people who really just he was respected for who he was. He wasn't respected for someone that he claimed to be. He was respected because he was the person he was. And I really respect that from someone who is from anyone. And what bugs me so much, it's Father's Day today. It bugs me so much that Bob Barry's kids will never get to see him again. Same with Paul Walker's daughter. I know he has a daughter. And she'll never see him again unless she goes to heaven. I do believe in that. So, I mean, I'm not like one of those people who don't believe in that. I do. I really do believe in that. I mean, I don't want to get religious, but I really do believe in that. I mean, she'll never see him on Earth again. Let's just say. They'll never see Bob Barry on Earth again. And they'll never, and Brian, or Yodi Slayer's kids, they'll never see him on Earth again. They're fatherless. It's really sad when you think about it. Again, you know, back to Yodi Slayer, man, I mean, I didn't think much of it at the time, and I just said that just to be respectful, because I thought, you know, it'd be nice, but it really sickens me now, because I feel like such a scumbag for doing that, you know, thinking like that. I mean, I know I'm kind of beating myself up, and you're like, Rambo, don't think like that. It's not that bad, you know. It's. I mean, he was a guy who influenced zombies. He made the zombies from Black Ops and Call of Duty. He made that shit popular. He made that into what it was. He and Syndicate, they both single-handedly made that popular. So, I mean, I should give him tons of more respect. He is, man, he's fucking amazing. Yodi Slayer was. And I mean, dude, to wrap up this video, okay, I'm getting a lot of invites, but let me just wrap up this video by saying, guys, people always, when are you going to be ready to die? You know? And the Bob Barry, man, dude, you were the greatest OU fan I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm doing a video.
Did his friends have fun at camp?
But
Britain, did your friends have fun at camp?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Hey, you don't have this on.
okay, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, so back to Bob Barry. Bob Barry, and I don't want the interruption getting interrupted by my parents or my grandmother and mother's interruption. But back to Bob Barry. Bob Barry, man, you are remembered. You were remembered, still are, you always will be, and please, man, wherever you are, man, I know the people up there are probably enjoying your sportscast in the afterlife. And Bob Barry, man, I will never meet, or I will never hear another more passionate OU fan than I'll ever will be. Or my dad. Like, my dad's one of the biggest OU fans. Like, he was bigger than my dad when it comes to OU fanboying. Man, he was, man, at least you left a legacy of being a person who you were. You were just... You're... Bob Berry, man, adios, my friend. It's been fun. Farewell, man. And wherever you are, I don't know where you are, I don't know what you believed in, but wherever you are, I hope they're enjoying your sportscast in heaven, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.